Chuck Noland, a highly driven and time-obsessed systems engineer for FedEx. Chuck's life revolves around the clock. His days are filled with urgency, schedules, and the need for efficiency, a perfect metaphor for modern life's relentless pace. He is meticulous, detail-oriented, and believes in the power of structure and order. We meet Chuck at a turning point in his life. He's in a long-term relationship with Kelly Frears, a woman he dearly loves but often takes for granted because of his work commitments. Their bond is deep, but Chuck's constant travel for work keeps them apart more than he would like. It's clear they are meant to be together, but life's demands have a way of putting distance between them. During a holiday gathering, Chuck is unexpectedly called away for a work emergency, illustrating just how unpredictable his job can be. This moment sets the tone for what is to come, a life-altering event that no one could have foreseen. Before he leaves, Chuck shares a heartfelt goodbye with Kelly. They exchange gifts, and Kelly gives him a pocket watch with her photo inside, a token of their love and a symbol of the life Chuck is about to leave behind. He promises to be back soon. Unaware that fate has a different plan, Chuck boards a FedEx cargo plane bound for Malaysia, taking off into a stormy night. The flight initially seems routine, but soon they encounter a violent storm over the Pacific Ocean. The turbulence grows intense, and the plane starts to lose control. Alarms blare, the plane shakes, and panic sets in. In a terrifying sequence, the plane is tossed about by the storm, and Chuck, strapped in his seat, can only watch in horror as the aircraft is engulfed by darkness and water. Suddenly, the plane crashes into the ocean with a deafening roar. Chuck struggles to free himself from the sinking fuselage, fighting against the freezing water, debris, and chaos. In a desperate move, he grabs an inflatable life raft and manages to escape the wreckage, watching in shock and disbelief as the plane disappears beneath the waves. Alone in the vast ocean, Chuck is at the mercy of the elements. The waves toss him around like a rag doll, and he quickly realizes the gravity of his situation. He is stranded in the middle of nowhere, with no sign of rescue in sight. Hours later, Chuck washes ashore on a deserted island. Exhausted, bruised, and disoriented, he surveys his surroundings. The island is small, isolated, and devoid of any signs of human life. There's no civilization, no shelter, no fresh water, just miles of sand, rock, and dense jungle. His initial attempts to signal for help are futile, and it becomes painfully clear that he is entirely alone. In these first days, Chuck's struggle is primarily physical. He has no survival skills and no idea how to find food or water. He cuts himself trying to open coconuts, fails to catch fish, and even struggles to make a fire. The island is harsh, and the reality of his predicament is brutal. His body, used to the comforts of modern life, is not prepared for this ordeal. Every attempt to adapt is met with frustration and failure. Chuck's days turn into weeks, and he slowly begins to learn how to survive. His motivation is simple: survive long enough to be rescued. He scavenges the beach for anything useful, and among the wreckage from the crash, he finds several FedEx packages washed ashore. At first, Chuck is hesitant to open them, clinging to the last vestige of his previous life and his professional duty to deliver. But desperation eventually forces his hand. He opens the packages, finding items like a pair of ice skates, a dress, and a volleyball. Random objects that, in this context, become invaluable tools for survival. The volleyball in particular becomes a significant part of Chuck's life. Isolated and yearning for human connection, he paints a face on the ball using his own blood and names it Wilson. Wilson becomes his silent companion, a confidant, and a symbol of his need for interaction and conversation. The creation of Wilson is a powerful moment in the film, highlighting the human need for connection, even in the most dire circumstances. Talking to Wilson, Chuck maintains a semblance of sanity. This inanimate object becomes his anchor in a world where he has nothing else. As time progresses, Chuck's once clean appearance fades. His hair grows long, his beard becomes unruly, and his body becomes lean and muscular from the constant physical exertion. He adapts to the island's challenges, learning to fish with a spear, create fire using friction, and collect rainwater for drinking. He even marks the passing days on a cave wall, each scratch representing a day spent in isolation, a testament to his will to survive and his hope for rescue. 4 long years pass, and Chuck's life has become a routine of survival. His world has shrunk to the size of the island, and his hope for rescue has dwindled. He's no longer the same man who once obsessively checked his watch every few minutes. He's grown to understand that time on the island moves differently, that the measures of success and failure in his previous life no longer apply. One day, a large piece of metal from a portable toilet washes ashore, providing Chuck with the spark of an idea. This new discovery reignites his hope. He decides to build a raft, using the metal as a makeshift sail. He knows the attempt is fraught with danger. He could die at sea, be attacked by sharks, or drift endlessly. But Chuck realizes he cannot stay on the island forever. With determination and careful planning, he sets about building the raft. using logs, rope made from tree bark, and other salvaged materials. After weeks of preparation, Chuck finally sets sail, taking Wilson with him. The open ocean is a formidable adversary. Chuck faces the brutal reality of nature's harsh sun, relentless waves, and the ever-present threat of the unknown. The journey tests every ounce of his strength and willpower. He fights off dehydration, sunburn, and exhaustion. The vastness of the ocean makes him feel smaller than ever before, and at one point, a wave knocks Wilson off the raft. Desperately, Chuck tries to save him, but he can't reach Wilson in time. The loss of Wilson is a heartbreaking moment, symbolizing the end of Chuck's last connection to his time on the island. After days adrift, battered by the elements, Chuck is spotted by a passing cargo ship. His ordeal is over. But while Chuck is finally rescued, the world he returns to is not the one he left behind. He is taken back to civilization, but the transition is jarring. He is celebrated as a hero, but he feels disconnected. Everything has changed, and Chuck finds himself in a world that has moved on without him. Back in Memphis, Chuck learns that Kelly, believing he was dead, has married and started a family. This discovery is a profound blow. The woman he loved, the life he longed to return to, is no longer there for him. Chuck visits Kelly, and their reunion is bittersweet. There is still love between them, but they both know things can never be the same. They share a final kiss, a farewell to the past, and an acceptance of their new realities. Chuck gives Kelly back the pocket watch, a gesture that symbolizes closure and his understanding that he must let go of what once was. The film ends with Chuck at a literal and metaphorical crossroads, standing at an intersection in the middle of nowhere. He is now a man who understands that life is unpredictable, that time cannot be controlled, and that all we have are the choices we make in the present moment. With a map in hand and uncertainty ahead, Chuck looks down each road, contemplating which path to take. This moment encapsulates the essence of his journey, a journey of survival, transformation, and self-discovery. It's a powerful reminder that no matter where life takes us, it's our choices that define us.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please like, subscribe, and don't forget to check out our next video.